Okay, well I'm going to do a quick intro on this machine here, how to do some basic maintenance tasks, how to open it up, how to take a look at this, that and the other. I'm not going to be going into the back box because if you're going in there, generally something's gone a bit further wrong than your average home owner type person is going to want to go into. But just some basic things that your average owner of a machine like this is going to need to know what I'm going to be talking about now. So this machine is an Alvin G machine, which are fairly unusual. There's not too many of them around in New Zealand anyway. Actually this is the only one I've ever seen here, but there's probably more. I am informed this is the only garage band machine. The full name is Al's Garage Band Goes on a World Tour, but no one ever calls it that because it takes too long. So Garage Band will do. This is a good runner here. I've just sold this actually, so chances are the first person to see this is going to be the chap I sold it to, because he's going to need to know this kind of thing. It is his first machine, I believe. So here we go. I'll just start the thing up just so you can see that it's it runs and what it looks like when it's working properly. Turn it up, and it goes boots, and everything goes okay. This is quite a nice machine in that it has quite a few LEDs in the important spots, so it puts on quite a nice light show there. It's all generally pretty tidy. It could do with a bit of a clean. It's been in storage for a little while. It's actually been set up here for a little while after that, but I haven't got around to doing all the cleaning that I should. So there you go, it does all work, and it gets noisy if you push the start button.
Introducing Al's Garage Band!
I don't want to get that noisy, so I'm just turn the thing off again. Okay, so number one thing. I'll move the camera down a little bit. Coin door. This machine has a single slot coin door in it. It's all pretty tidy. In order to do pretty much anything with a machine like this, opening the coin door is the first thing you have to do. So if you've got a machine without the key and it's got a lock in it and the coin door won't open, you get a bit of a problem there. You're going to have to sort that one out before you do anything else. So this machine actually even has a coin mechanism in it, so it could actually go into a site somewhere and earn some money, but I don't think that's where this particular machine's going. So inside, common to quite a lot of machines, well, I mean even going back to the 80s and in fact even the 70s, if you're just after like a single test button, you've got a set of controls here. So in fact what I might do is turn the thing on. We'll see what these do. Can you actually see the screen on the thing yet? Looks like you can. So first thing, most basic thing, is the volume controls, which in this machine here are the two black buttons. I actually think they're back to front because plus is on the left, which makes it louder, and minus is on the right, which makes it softer. So left is making it louder and right's making it softer, but well, they decided to do that, fine, whatever. So by default these things are quite loud, and this one is set to quite loud. So it's currently turn it down just a little bit maybe. These particular machines actually have quite good sound system in them. So eventually it'll stop doing it. There we go, great. Now you can hear me again. The other thing that you want to be able to do here is this is the way that you get into the test modes. So if you want to figure out what, for instance, which lights are blown, if there's any, as far as I know this one doesn't have any blown lamps, you can go into the test modes by just pressing the enter key on this one, and then you can use plus and minus to go through the various tests. I'm not going to go into those greatly, but at least you can get to that point, and from that point on it's reasonably self-explanatory. The other red button is exit, so you just push that until you end up coming out of the menus, and it goes back into the boot sequence, and you can then play if you want. The other thing you have to be able to do in here is get into the playfield area, and so in this machine there's a handle right here that you have to pull downwards. Obviously you push it back up to lock it again when you're done, but I'm just going to open that up. Some machines have a handle over here to the right. Normally, in fact to be honest, more often it's over here to the right, and it's more of a handle than a lever you pull down. But so once that's down, you can take the that lockdown bar off, put it aside, hopefully somewhere it's not going to fall over, and then you can slide the glass back. Very dusty under here. And then just slide the glass forward. This is really tough glass and it's really quite difficult to break. I've been messing with pinball machines a while and I've never actually broken one. Cross fingers, touch wood one. So I'm not going to, actually no I will, I'll take this off. Slides off all the way. I'm going to leave that there, I'm going to put it somewhere else completely. Where can I put this? Put it over here. So now I have access to the playfield, so if I want to do anything just at this level here, I can do that now. The other thing that you can do, of course, is lift the playfield up. So I normally grab it. This machine has a metal apron here, so it's quite strong. You can lift it up on that, or I mean, take your pick really, but don't lift it on the plastics or anything like that, obviously, because you will break them. Just lift that up, and then you can lift all the way up like that. Some machines, that's all you get. Other machines like this one, you can actually move the playfield forward. I'm just going to put it back. Most machines also have an arm like this one here. This is a neat little receptacle for it. And so now you can set it up like that, and you can work on lamps and so on. There's the lamp boards here, solenoids. Yeah, take your pick. You want to go any further than what I'm showing you here, you're going to have to look it up. Right, all back down again. Just you should make sure that the stay there goes into its little holder, because if it doesn't, it can flap around. Well, when the things are in transport anyway. If it's just sitting here, obviously it's not going to do any harm. So yeah, just drop it back down again. Make sure that there's little steel fingers on the front that have to go into slots. Again, most machines have those. If they don't go into the slots, the playfield will sit crooked, and then it'll still play, but it won't play well. It'll do very, very strange things. So yeah, once you're done with that, you can just put the glass on. I'm actually going to pause this while I put this back together again. Okay, so I've got the glass back again, and what I'm going to do is very quickly put it back together, show you how to do that. So I'll leave that open for now. In fact, with that handle down, like most machines, this won't even close at all. If you're wondering why the door won't close on practically any pinball machine, it's because that handle is there, and possibly the lockdown bar isn't locked down properly or something. Anyway, let's do this. Glass. Rather heavy for its size, but it's armoured glass. As I say, very difficult to break. Now this machine has a plastic rail at the top. This is pretty common. The plastic rail does not fit completely smoothly into the glass when you slide it in, because, well, it's just like that. So you push the glass down a little bit so it does fit, and then it slides in quite happily. So now, all I have to do, put the lockdown bar back on. It's on. You have to make sure these things are pushed down quite firmly quite often. Make sure that that latch is back in there. Now of course this will close. You can lock it with the key, take it out, not lose it, because if you lose it you get in trouble. So that's how you do that. Next I'll show you how to take apart the front of the back box. And just to get you started there, and also to show how the latch there works and why the latch on this one doesn't work or won't work quite yet. Okay, so now the way this comes apart is you lift the glass panel here up. Now on many machines this is a very expensive piece of glass. This is true of this one here. This is mirrored. It's actually quite unusual for its age. This is sort of a mid-90s machine, and by this stage generally these things were just a piece of plain glass with some plastic behind them, but this is not like that. This is mirrored glass with probably screen printed ink on the back. So if you drop that or you break it, well, you're going to have a very hard time getting another one. Generally it's the sort of thing that isn't reproduced. So, you know, you might find someone who's got one in their shed or something, maybe, but you'll be waiting a while. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this camera and show you where the latch is on this machine. So, up under there, as you can see, there's a latch. Now, that there has to be turned. Normally, in that, there is a key latch, but in this machine it just has a slot. So, you can just use it with we'll use a flat blade screwdriver with it. You just rotate it 90 degrees. This one's already rotated, but I'm going to lock the thing up before I send it away, because the last thing you want is that falling out. So this is unlatched, so now I can lift it up using this ridge, bring the bottom forward, drop it down, and then take it away and put it somewhere very, very safe. So as you can see now, you've got this lamp board here, and behind this lamp board are all the electronics. Now with this one, normally to open this, you would slide this latch here upwards. It's loose, you just flip it up, and then this whole board hinges outwards on the hinge over here. But this one, I've put a locking screw in here, so that when it's being transported, that can't rattle around and come loose, which it almost certainly would do, and then drop onto the glass. It probably wouldn't break it, but I'm not going to take the chance. So what that means is if you ever get a machine that looks like this and it's got a screw in there, you have to take that screw out before you can lift the latch up and get access to the electronics behind here. So if the other thing that of course you can do is you can lift up this panel here, that comes out, and you can flip it forward. I'm not going to do that quite yet. Well, I'm not going to do it at all in this video. It doesn't need to be done, but once you start getting past this level here, you're starting to look at potentially some high voltages. Best to be very careful, or if you're not too sure about that sort of thing at all, just leave it, give it to someone else to do. Bit dusty, but this thing's going to be going on a truck halfway across the country, so it's probably going to get even more dusty. What I am going to do to make sure I don't forget at this point is I am going to lock this again. Now if I've done that correctly, but I haven't. Actually, look at what I'm doing, I've got a light right in my eyes as well, so I just cannot see that. It's damned annoying. Is that it? Nope. Feels like it. I'll fiddle with that later. I think I'm getting the screwdriver into the slot properly. So yeah, I will lock that and make sure that it doesn't drop out in the truck. So yeah, that's pretty much the how to take care of one of these things in a very basic way. I mean, quite often you'll want to, I guess, take the glass off and give the playfield a bit of a clean. You should use proper pinball cleaning fluid for that. Anything water-based is not going to be a good idea, as the playfield is based on high accuracy plywood normally, and that doesn't like getting wet. This machine here is probably fairly resistant to that, but not all machines are. So in fact, the older they get, the more likely it is they're going to cause problems. So just keep water away from the playfield completely. Right. Well, that's about the end of that. I'm going to do another video in a moment in which I show how I'm packing this machine up. I will take the legs off it, I will bring the back box down, and so forth, so that again, mainly for the guy who's going to be getting this, so he can reverse the procedure when it arrives at his place. So yeah, that's it. Hope that was helpful to someone.